Yo, what you lot say, this is your boy here, and today what I've got for you, it is the MotoGP 2015 Japanese Grand Prix review for you guys. And yeah, let's get right down to this video. Now, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button below, subscribe and yeah, let's get right down to this video. So, it started off in practice, where Alex D'Angelis had a massive off. I think, I only saw screenshots of it, where he was like, being taken care of on the exit of the corner before the hairpin, before the back straight. So yeah, apparently he has got a broken like arm, something like that. He's been really severely hurt, so that's really bad to be honest, you know. Obviously motorbike racing is more dangerous than car racing. It's just a fact, guys, because you know, because with cars, you know, as soon as you lose it, you lose the rim. That's it. With these bikes, as soon as you lose it, the thing goes down. So yeah, a lot more brutal bike racing than car racing. So yeah, so unfortunate for Alex D'Angelis. I hope he makes a swift recovery, because that's very bad. I do not like to see riders or drivers getting severely hurt. So yeah, hopefully he will be back. So moving on into qualifying Q1, a lot of the riders came on the track. A lot of wild cars, a lot of Japanese wild cars, including Takanui, all those types of guys, all running like privatised MotoGP bikes. So yeah, so they were added in there, and they made a little bit of a showing in terms of trying to get into Q2, but none of them managed to get into Q2. So yeah. So yeah, so a lot of people were setting a lot of quick times. One in particular was Vinales. Yeah, Vinales, who went quickest in the session and managed to get through into Q2, and then also followed by Scott Redding. Who would have thought it? Scott Redding. He's been chucking on the kneecaps, but he's been knocking on the door of a Q2 place. And to finally do it, especially in his last year before going to the Pramac, he's fantastic. And also to beat the Pramac as well, the team that he's going to be riding for next year, is fantastic as well. So yeah, Redding proving to be proving to the Pramac team that he could be a good rider for them next year. So yeah. So yeah, moving into Q2, the big boys came on the track, and we saw Lorenzo bringing first blood to Rossi, going fastest by a couple of tenths over Rossi. Third was at the time Pedrosa. So yeah, no, third was Marquez. So yeah, and then at the end of the session, nothing much really happened. So really the grid was like this: Lorenzo, Rossi, Marquez, Ineone, Dovizioso. I think that's about it. That's all I know for sure so far. So yeah. So yeah, moving on into the race. It was a good start. It was in wet conditions actually, and before both the Moto3, Moto2, which are like GP3 and GP2 for Formula 1 in terms of the MotoGP series, both their races had been shortened. They'd been delayed due to the weather. But for the MotoGP race, it ran normally. It ran full distance, 24 laps. So yeah, no dramas whatsoever in terms of like red flags or that kind of stuff. So yeah, so it did run normally, but it was in very damp conditions. So yeah, so off the line we go. Rossi got a good start. He was side by side with Lorenzo, but Lorenzo ran deep, and that allowed Rossi to get the lead of the race going into turn 2. But as it came out of turn 2, Lorenzo got a better run than Rossi. That meant that Lorenzo was able to take the position back from Rossi and retake the lead from Lorenzo. Third, by the way, was Dovizioso. He managed to get himself up to third off the start, like 5th or 6th. So good start from the Italians. So yeah. And then later on, not much on the front. We did see an accident going on. I think it was Jack Miller. Yeah, Jack Miller in the LCR Honda, the open class LCR Honda. He fell off his bike on the last bit of the track. But he would manage to rejoin, but he would rejoin like 19th, 20th. He would not do anything in terms of points. Yeah, he would stay 0 points. He would stay 0 points. Yeah. And then afterwards, we saw a big accident, and that was Maverick Vinales coming down the back straight, going into the hard braking zone. He lost the front, and that the front washed out, and as a result, he fell off his bike, and that was it. And also as well, Paul Espargaro, in the dying moments of the race, also did had the same fate as well. So yeah, so really that corner catching a lot of people out there, including Maverick Vinales and Paul Espargaro. So yeah. So moving on, the two Yamahas led for half of the race. But that was until, with about 10 laps to go, where the Yamahas had issues. Their tyres were starting to drop off, and as a result they lost a huge amount of time, and as a result allowed the chasing pack to close up, in particular Dani Pedrosa, who was in third place. He already passed Andrea Dovizioso earlier in the race, so he was in prime position with that Honda bike, that Repsol Honda bike, to take a win off the Yamahas. So yeah, and that's exactly what he did. First did it on Rossi with a great move down the inside, going into the corner before the hairpin. A fantastic move, a very, very nice and clean move by Pedrosa. Afterwards, would do the exact same thing to Jorge Lorenzo at some part of the track to take the lead of the race from Jorge Lorenzo. But then afterwards, Jorge Lorenzo would run deep, and that allowed Rossi to get second place off Lorenzo, much to the delight of his fans, much to his approval of his championship. Because remember, he's only 14 points. Because remember, both Rossi and Lorenzo are 14 points separated from each other at the top of the championship. So very, very close, especially especially with a few races to go. So yeah. And then afterwards nothing much. And then afterwards, that was really it. To be honest, no real changes going on. To be honest, Marquez. By the way, he started third and dropped to 6th, but then was able to move his way back up to 4th, so yeah. We also saw a battle going on in the last few laps of the race between Bradley Smith and Cal Crutchlow, but in the end, Cal would be able to pull ahead of Bradley Smith to take 6th place. So great result by Cal Crutchlow, best of the Brits. So yeah, fantastic. But in the end, it was Dani Pedrosa who took the victory over Jorge Lorenzo. Dani Pedrosa for his first win, probably not since last year in Brno. So a fantastic result by him in that Repsol Honda bike. So yeah. Second is Rossi, which meant that his championship had been, which meant that he would increase his championship by 4 points over Lorenzo, because Lorenzo finished third. 4 points difference between second and third, so that meant that the gap was now from 14 points to 18 points going into Malaysia, going into Phillip Island with 3 remaining. So things looking a bit more positive for Valentino Rossi in terms of his pursuit for his 10th world title in Moto Grand Prix racing. So yeah. So and then also Marquez in 4th, great ride. Not really been in it, not really been in the sharp end, to be honest. I mean, it was really strange, to be honest, to see a guy like Marquez not being able to challenge the leaders, which is quite surprising, but not really, because the Yamahas have really had it all their own way, because to be honest. So yeah, kind of like the Mercedes of this year and last year. So yeah. So that's it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, then smack that like button below. Subscribe if you're new. I'll see you guys next time. Spoil your boy. I am out. Peace.